Welcome, beautiful soul, to this new pick a card reading. And this one is for the full moon in Capricorn. And if you came here for some guidance, then you are completely right here. It's this time of the month again. The moon is full and full of light, and she's ready to shine some light on your shadows. So yeah, it's that time again to look into shadows, to integrate, to accept, to hold yourself, to be very compassionate with yourself, to be loving, to be understanding, and yeah, all the beautiful things that you can be with yourself, that you can give yourself. And I'm here to channel you some guidance from Spirit, from the cards. And as you can see, I already picked 4 piles. We have one pile with this beautiful aquamarine stone for pile number 1. Then we have here the chrysoprase, also very beautiful stone, for pile number 2. An aventurine for pile number 3. It looks like a little egg. And then for pile number 4, we have this beautiful bloodstone. It's also green. It's a very dark green and has a few red spots. So as you can see here, I selected some stones that are all green, but going from light to a darker shade of green. So you can choose your pile, and then we will get into it. But maybe before we go into that, I would love to take a moment to tune in. So maybe you want to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths into your belly to ground yourself and to arrive in the present moment. It's a very beautiful day, at least where I live. And so I invite you to take all the beautiful energies that summer brings us into your system. Inhale through the nose, and then exhale. And feel the earth underneath you, either with your sits bones, or maybe you're laying down. Maybe you're walking around and you can feel the soles of your feet on the ground. But feel this motherly energy that Mother Earth is giving us. I think this might also be why I chose these green stones. Green is the color that represents the heart chakra, the Anahata chakra. And maybe take a moment to tune into your heart. That tender and beautiful space. And then ask your heart for guidance, because you came here to get some messages, but to be honest, all these messages are already anchored within you. And with the cards, it's just a little help, a little tool to go into or turn inwards to find the answers that you're looking for. So tune into your heart. Maybe you find yourself in a wood, maybe in some beautiful temple. Wherever you are, just feel very at home in this place. Feel the love and the light. And then ask yourself what brought you here today, and also maybe come back to the intentions that you set for yourself at the new moon. And if you didn't do that, then you can just allow yourself to just be present. Cherish this very moment where you're just breathing, and breathing just shows that you are being, which is a very beautiful thing, or a very beautiful gift that you can give yourself, your breath and the present moment. And the full moon in Capricorn is giving us the opportunity to look into where we are closing our hearts and where we are maybe denying ourselves the love that we deserve, because we all deserve so much love. But yeah, maybe where we don't give us the love that we need, that we deserve, that we want. And maybe it's also showing us where we felt like victims, where we gave our power away. So this full moon is all about shining a light on these parts and then ultimately to claim back your power, and come back to yourself and come back to take responsibility for all aspects of your life and therefore embrace life fully. So maybe there's already something coming up for you, maybe a situation where you gave your power away, and therefore you felt powerless, or maybe you did not feel heard, you did not felt seen or loved, maybe even. But you know that all of that, all your desires, all your needs can be met if you know about them, and then if you hold space for yourself, and then you can give yourself all of that. So I invite you to put your left hand on your heart space and your right hand over it, to feel your heart beat and to feel how you are giving yourself love, how you are holding space for yourself, how you are taking yourself time to turn inwards and give yourself love. And then inhale deeply into your heart space through your nose. And then let go of everything that you don't need at this very moment, exhaling through your mouth. One more like this, inhale. And one last deep breath. And then just take a little moment with your eyes closed. Feel the touch of your hands and your heartbeat. And then very gently open your eyes. And if you haven't done already, then choose yourself a pile. Maybe you can follow your heartbeat for doing this. Look at the stones, look at the piles, and maybe there's one where your heart says, yes, yes, pick me, pick me. And then you know that this is your pile. And then I will see you in your reading. Welcome, pile number 1. If you have chosen this very dreamy aquamarine and the pile number 1, then this is your reading. And I would love to start with the stone, actually. I picked a few days ago a card in an oracle deck. And I picked the... so it was a deck with stones in it, and I picked the aquamarine. And it says that the stone is for creatives like singer, artists, poets, writers, people that do speeches. So for people who are into creative stuff. And so it's very interesting that you have the poet card at the center of your reading. I think these work very well together. And yeah, what I would love to point out here is that there might be something come to an ending and something new, and this new thing might be very purposeful, because this is also was also in the card of the aquamarine stone, that if you follow your heart's desire, then the angels and guides let you know that if you're having fun and that you are enjoying the things that you're doing, that this is the thing that you came here to do. And I think your reading is very much about that, about you going for your vision, for your dreams, and for the things that your heart desires. And you might have been giving that away for a while, maybe for a long time even. Maybe you did not allow yourself to follow your heart's desire, whatever that is. It can be writing poetry, it can be painting, it can be whatever creative expression it is that you are looking forward. That you did not allow yourself to do that because of what your mind is telling you. And then it's very interesting that we have the King of Swords, like we have this masculine energy, but coming from the mind. So the mind is telling you what you should do. But if I remove this card, your desire, your heart's desire is very, very, very strong in your reading. So I think you already worked on that quite a bit, or you have been pondering over that quite a lot. And I can see that coming to an ending. And then also I can see the new beginning, and I can see that you're going to be very successful with what you're up to. And so, I guess following your heart's desire will always bring you, well, not always, but how can I say it? Will bring you joy. I mean, it's not said that it's going to be easy or something, but it's going to give you joy. So maybe tune into this, what your heart is telling you. Maybe you did not pay so much attention to it or have space for that, or maybe you don't know what your passion is. Then the cards invite you to find that out, to be playful with it, to maybe start something new, or try something new, or maybe come back to something that you were doing as a child, that you loved doing as a child. It can be something that your mind might consider stupid or meaningless, but it is not. That might just be your conditioning that tells you that these things that you love doing as a child are meaningless or are not for you anymore because you're an adult now. So you can just forget about that and look into what your heart desires. And then I said that it will bring you joy, but there's also something that where you will need a lot of willpower to do so. So we have this card, willpower, where we have this beautiful little flower that is growing, maybe in concrete, maybe in a very hard surface, but is growing anyways. So nature, when you're outside and you look around, then you will see that nature always takes back or takes up space, even though humans try very hard to push nature back. But you will see it everywhere when you are walking in a city, or even when you're outside and you see a rocky landscape, you will always see plants growing on very rough surfaces. So, and this is a reminder that you too, with your willpower, you can push through hard situations, through hard conversations, through hard things, basically. So Glennon Doyle says in her book Untamed, we can do hard things. And this is just a reminder that you too can do hard things. Even if there is something like following your heart's desire seems at this very moment impossible to you, it is possible. because you have so much willpower and you have so much energy. Look, you have this cheetah card, and the cheetah is the representation of this very fast energy. It's like solar energy, but not coming from the sun, but coming from within the animal. So you too have that energy, and you too have that willpower to push through the hard things. And then you also have this card, A New Earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. So this is not necessarily just about the idea of creating a new Earth here on planet Earth, but it's just some other indicator that you are able to, that you are able to follow your heart's desire and to, bring this vision that you have or will have into your reality. And then we have here the Bluebell card with the book. So I guess for me, these two are going together, like the Ace of Cups and the Bluebell with the book and the arrows. It's this invitation to maybe read into something or learn something new, try something new. And in the guidebook, it says also ask for support. So maybe you have been in your mind-driven path. You always try to do things alone. And now it's the moment to also ask for help and ask for support. This can easily be seen as, being not able to do things alone, but we are humans and we're not meant to do things always just alone. This doesn't mean that you are giving your power away. This just means that you take responsibility for yourself, because if you say like, oh, I cannot do this alone, I need support, I need help, then this is it's so good to just take responsibility for that. It would be like, oh, I can't do it, so I won't do it. This would like giving your power away to a false belief. So yeah, I think Spirit invites you to also see where you can collaborate. Maybe there's someone who is already doing what you desire to do, and you can just ask them how they started it, how they are doing it, how they are living their dream. And even if it's just that, it doesn't necessarily have to be this thing that you want to do. It can just be someone who changed their life or started following the heart, and you can just go and ask them how it was for them, how they took that leap of faith, how they are dealing with the hard things, what they are doing when difficulties are being presented to them. It's just like getting this kind of support system, because sometimes when we are a lot in the mind, it can feel very, very lonely, because I think it's just that if we are driven by our minds and by being very rational and very maybe science-based, life sometimes can feel lonely. And tuning into the heart, you will notice that there is so much love that you have to give, not only to others, but also to yourself, but also that it's such a beautiful thing to have support. And I can also see that in the Nine of Pentacles. This person also seems to be like a person that is, that is not just relying on themselves. I mean, look, they have this animal, like spirit animal, like support with them. And they are living this abundant life. So, yeah. So this is it for the cards that we have here. I picked some other tarot cards. Let me just get them. And let's see what we have. So we have the Three of Swords with upheaval and release. So maybe you know it's like in the classical tarot, it's like a heart pierced by 3 swords. So I think again this comes very well together with the King of Swords, because oftentimes it's the mind that causes so much pain in our hearts, because our mind tends to tell us the most horrible things about ourselves that are simply not true. Yeah. 7 of Swords, confusion and setbacks. And then we have recognition and success with the Ace of Rings, which is the Ace of Pentacles. Very interesting also here with the Ace of Cups. And then we have the World, achievement and fulfillment. And this is very nice to end, to have this as the last card of your reading, because this just shows again that if something is coming to an ending, you will definitely have some achievements. Let me just put it a little bit darker so you can see the cards. Oh, that was too dark. Oops. I think like this, it's okay. So yeah, again, this is an invitation to just let go of all these stories that your mind is telling you, and an invitation to maybe look into your talents in all these things that you brought with you in this lifetime, and yeah, treasure it. There's something I forget. Let me just look. So yeah, basically, I think if you would like to journal a little bit more about this reading, you can ask yourself where your mind has given you a hard time and telling you things that are not true, but that you believed. And also where your heart is leading you to, and where you feel empowered, like what activities, or it does not only have to be activities, but it can also be places. So where, in what place do you feel most at home, like it within yourself, within your heart space? And also look into who can give you support, who can give you love apart from yourself. And then I definitely see that you are very fast-paced and going towards your heart's desires. It's also with the 2 arrows here. I read somewhere that arrows are also a sign of the purpose and of having some kind of a goal or aim, because if we use arrows, we aim at something. Yeah. So I guess this is it. Yeah, I wish you a very happy full moon. And maybe you feel like writing into the comments what your heart desire is and how you are following it. And yeah, I think that could be nice also to find other people who also picked this pile. That just came to me because I saw all the birds. Like maybe it's a murder of crows. But this is also showing you that you are not alone in this. I was talking about this earlier too, that about feeling alone sometimes when we are a lot in our mind space, but be sure you are not alone. You are supported by the universe, by people who love you, by spirit animals. Spirit is always with you. And yeah, I wish you all the best, sending you so much love and light from my heart into yours. Thank you for being, and thank you for following your heart's desire. And happy full moon. Bye-bye. Cleansing the space for you, pile number 2. Welcome, pile number 2. If you have chosen the chrysoprase, this is your reading, and I would love to start with the meaning of the stone. So this beautiful stone, it feels very smooth and has a very beautiful color. I think it changes also sometimes, like now it looks a bit turquoise, but also yellow and greenish. And it feels very comforting when I'm holding it in my hands. So it's a stone that promotes love and that gives hope and that also soothes anxiety and depression. And I can definitely see why this stone is linked to your reading, because your reading is so full of different energies. That I have the feeling that lately you have been maybe a bit confused about what was going on in your life, and that as a reaction to that, you have been judging yourself and others. Maybe I just leave it like that. So in the middle, we have the judge, and with the judge also comes like judging. And I think judging, when we are doing this in our heads and also with other people, we bring a lot of pain into our lives. I don't know if you are familiar with Gabby Bernstein's book, The Judgment Detox, but she describes in her book that there's only pain coming with judgment. So if you are talking with someone and you're like gossiping or talking about someone and judging them to make yourself feel better or maybe even more worth, you will have a moment where you feel bonding with that person you're talking about, but ultimately this just creates separation, and this always leads to pain. So maybe feel into this, whether you have been judging others, where you have been judging also yourself, and how that felt for you. Yeah, just as far as that. And then I can see many different things. So you have the asphodel. The asphodel invites you, or the asphodel is a symbol of longing, of things that are in the past. So maybe you are longing for something that happened in the past and you are giving it meaning. Like, for example, oh, when I was there or there, when I did this or that, I was so much happier than I am now. So maybe you regret a decision that you made because you are interpreting this event from the perspective that you are now in, and maybe you're forgetting about why you did, or the thing that you did, or why you made this decision at that very moment. So what I want to say is, maybe at that moment it was the only decision that was to be made, and it felt very good at that moment, but now you are judging that situation and you might think, okay, if I wouldn't have done that, I would be not in that place, I wouldn't be that miserable. But then you are just forgetting about the value or the lesson that you could be learning. I don't know if I'm expressing myself that you can understand what I'm saying. But I'm just inviting you to step back, to look at that situation without judgment, and without believing that it was a wrong decision. Let me put it that way. Yeah, you have 2 of the seed and sickle cards. You also have hops, and the hops invite you to get some rest. So I think this is it's very beautiful that you have this card as well, because with all the energies that are going on in your life lately, or that are at least in your reading right now, I think getting rest is a very, it's very good advice actually, because this card also talks about anxiety, and when you remember that the stone was also soothing anxiety, then maybe you felt anxious or unsure or uncomfortable. Then it's always good to just step back for a moment, leave the things as they are, and just take some rest. Yes. So it's also with the panther. It's actually, the panther is some kind of disrupting this energy and this judgment. So maybe you have been in this situation with all this energy going on, and then there is one moment where it's like, okay, this is not, this cannot be like this. There has to be something there. There has to be change, because you cannot live with that. Do you know what I mean? So there's all these energy that are in your mind, probably, that are tearing you in this direction and then also in the other direction, and you don't know what to do, and so you're so much in your head and you're judging so much, and the panther is just coming and saying like, stop it, step back, relax, and then from this calm state of being, you can just illuminate the things that are going on. And then you also have here weight of the world, boundaries, let it go, it's not yours to carry. So I guess you can see that person laying in water, like floating around, being weightless. So I think these cards, like the hops card and this card, go very well together. So maybe just, it's summer, you can just go outside, maybe go to a lake, go to a river, go to the ocean, and just float in the water and allow the water to wash everything away, wash away the clouds in your head, so that you can gain some clarity on the things that are actually in your mind right now. Because there is definitely a lot that is not yours, and maybe it's also that you have been very much into this panther energy, that maybe you showed your teeth or your claws to someone, and that this was a bit of a, maybe overreacting or not suiting the situation, but that you were, maybe you were triggered so much, and because you haven't been able to release all this very, very dense energy, that you maybe also snapped at someone or something like that, that you felt like they were not respecting your boundaries. So boundaries is definitely something that the cards are inviting you to look into. See how you are communicating your boundaries, how you are living your boundaries. So maybe you are also not respecting your own boundaries. And then also to let things go, let the things go that are not for you. Because sometimes we carry things around because we think that we might help someone, but we are actually not, because if we carry something for someone, then they cannot solve it, and we also cannot do anything with it. So see into that, where you are carrying something that is not yours. And I think also by carrying things that are not ours, we tend to occupy ourselves with things that do not belong to us, and therefore we do not have time to take care of the things that are ours. So in order to be able to follow our own path, we have to release things that are not ours to carry. So with your tarot cards, I can definitely see a lot of feminine energy. You have the Queen of Wands. That is for me a very warm and very also fertile energy, and also the Empress, which is like the feminine energy card for me, and also the card of abundance, of beauty, of calmness, of knowing. So I think the tarot cards are inviting you to tune into these kind of energies, and to nurture yourself, definitely mother yourself. So together with the Hops card, so they are in that row, together with the Hops card, see where you can mother yourself, where you can give yourself nourishment. It can be just go outside, walk in nature, swim in a river. You have the river, the water here as well. So this is an invitation to just nourish yourself, but I guess also nourish others. So it's not only yet we have boundaries and we decide to like giving everything that we were carrying back and like deal with it, but doing it in a loving way and to expand this motherly energy. But not just like, okay, I'm going to mother you, but like with the Three of Pentacles, I see this kind of collaboration, like asking and talking with others about all of these things. Talk about the things that are on your mind, talk about maybe self-judgment, maybe express also judgment that you received, so maybe you were judged by someone. Just talk about that. Be open, illuminate, shine the light on all these things. And don't be afraid, because it might seem hard or difficult, but in the end, it's so much more rewarding to shine light into things than living with the shadows. So I guess the full moon now is just inviting you to shine her light onto these things that have been on your mind, that have been bothering you, that have been somehow taking you back. I think this one with the past, maybe you have been carrying something from your past with you that kept you from really living in the present moment, that kept you from really enjoying and embracing your life as it is at this moment. And like this, you have been giving your power away, because when we are living in the past and we are maybe regretting some things, then we are also giving our power away, the power to be present in this very moment, which is the only moment when life exists. So has also the Chariot. I guess, or for me, what comes to me is there is no going back. You can just decide to go forward. You can stick to the past, but if you stick to the past, then you don't go forward. And it's not always in life about just going forward and going on and on and on. But ultimately, if we are just living in the past and we're just clinging to events in the past, this just keeps us from evolving. And this full moon is about coming into empower yourself. So maybe you have been giving away your power in the past. See into this, how you have been doing that, and maybe how you're regretting things, and also how you are judging things, maybe today differently than back at the time. And then also forgive. It's always good to forgive. So, and let me see, I also picked some other tarot cards as, to to have additional messages, and these are actually very powerful. I already saw them. You have temperance. So it's about moderation and equilibrium. You have fortitude, so strength, vitality, and courage. I think this is also what I was talking about when I was talking about this card, about talking about things. Allow yourself to be in difficult conversations, knowing that you can do this, that you have the strength, that you have the vitality, and that you also have the courage. You can be you have the courage. And then there's the Fool. And this is very interesting because the Fool is the beginning of the journey. And I think, it's like when we can decide every moment of our lives to just leave the past behind, because this is also just stories that we choose events that create the story, and that ultimately creates who we think that we are. But if we leave things behind, then we can become someone else. We can be more empowered. We can come into our own power and into our strength, and we can take responsibility for our lives and not be victims of any sort. So it's like choosing, It's very interesting that we have this card here, like the Fool depicted as someone not seeing, but having two spheres in their hands, and it's like choosing. So it's up to you to choose what you want in your life. And if you choose, you have to claim it. Like, I choose this, and therefore I am responsible for all the things that are going on in my life. So then you also have the Sun with positivity and abundance, very nice together with the Empress. So you definitely have this energy as well. I think it's a very beautiful card. You have water again, this invitation to dive into this, but also the Sun. Yeah. Maybe it's also just put your face in the sun, in the warm sun of the summer, and enjoy being warmed by her, being held, being supported, and feeling into the abundance that Mother Earth is giving us each and every day. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune with adaptation and elevation. Finishing your reading. So I guess this is another indicator that there is no going back, and there's also no holding on to things, because the Wheel of Fortune shows us that there is no way of standing still, which is interesting because it comes together with the Chariot card. So it's like, even if you want to hold on to things, the Wheel of Fortune always turns. It's always like going on. It's nothing, you cannot hold on to things. So maybe this is also an invitation to let go of things, to release control, to release clinging, like being like this, and just like open yourself up. Also then to receive all the beautiful things that are waiting for you, and they are definitely waiting for you. So you have so much of this receiving energy. You have this beautiful temperance energy that is very, like, all these cards here are like softening the energy that are lying beneath and that have maybe been with you for a while. So all this like chaos, like the not knowing, the being very much in your mind, maybe even anxiety. So yeah, be assured that you're on the right path, and that if you keep going, and that if you allow yourself also to rest and also to retreat, there is always hope, and there is always love and beautiful things in this life. It's always also maybe change your perspective and ask to see things differently. So even if it's very if you're in a situation where you cannot see how things could be different, just ask for it. Just pray for it. Just ask for, please help me to see things differently. I am ready to see things differently. Please help me to soften towards it. Please help me to open my heart and receive all the love and light that I deserve. So, pile number 2, that was your reading. I hope that with the full moon you will find some clarity, some maybe some soothing as well. Can be that this full moon is very intense for you, that all of these things, all of these feelings, all of this confusion is showing very much and very intensely. But just be assured, just like the Wheel of Fortune is telling you, this is also only temporary. Everything changes. Nothing is forever. And with that, I wish you all the best. I send you so much love and so much light. I can see that you are very courageous and that you are a very strong person already on their way. And I'm very proud of you, that you are and how you are managing your life. And I'm sending you so much love and light from my heart to yours. Happy full moon. Bye-bye. Cleaning up the space for you. Pile number 3. Welcome, pile number 3. If you have picked the aventurine stone and pile number 3, then this is your reading. And wow, what an energy is happening here. You have the bridge in the middle of it as your archetype. And then you have the octopus, awakening, and also with the Hathors, birth as a portal. And it seems to me like you are at a point where you are heading to something completely different. Something like enlightenment or like waking up, awakening, maybe spiritual waiting, whatever it is. And I have the feeling with the bridge that it's not like you are still at one side of it, but that you are already in the middle of it, that you are already right in it. You have the octopus, and then when I saw this octopus card, I was just thinking, wow, you have so many beautiful colors in your head, and this could be like having beautiful ideas, having light, having like optimism. And then also with the octopus, with all these 8 arms that are like, they are using them to explore their surroundings. So I don't know if you have ever seen it when they are in contact with a human being, for example, they are putting their arms everywhere, and then they are feeling with their little I forgot how they are called, but they are just like feeling into this, and then they are very sticky to it. So maybe there was a time when you were trying to avoid that path, but in the end it was obvious that you could not do that. So maybe you are in a position where you are right half across the bridge, and you still do not know where this is going to lead you, but be assured that you are supported, that there is deep love around you. So you have this card that says deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. So whenever we are crossing a bridge, like birth is also a bridge, like being in the womb and then being pushed out of the vagina or the yoni or whatever you like to call it, being pushed out of the womb and coming into onto the planet, then this is also like a portal. You're just going through something and then you come out on the other side, and this is just like the bridge. You are walking over it just to come to arrive at the other side. So and if this is confusing to you, then this card, the Bracken card, tells you that it's totally fine to retreat, to take some time just for yourself, figure out what all of this means to you, because I think it can be quite overwhelming. But I guess you have already everything that you need to go through it. You have here the High Priestess, which represents the intuition and the knowledge that you need on this path. You have the Page of Pentacles that is contemplating their talents. So I guess it's an invitation to maybe slow down a little bit and to be very present in that whole process. That comes also with a lot of emotion, I guess. You have here a lot of water. You have the Knight of Cups. That is a very, a knight in shining armor, that he was carrying his emotions in front of them, and also with the river flowing here. So I guess it's an invitation to surrender, to go with the flow, and to be sure that there is a deep love within you, but also around you. So it's not only you giving yourself love, but also the universe, your loved ones. The mother can be your own mother, but also Mother Earth. So just feel into this love and feel into this situation that you are in, and see how you can ease into the whole process. And the Awakening card also says that maybe if it's not that kind of big awakening where you just like have this maybe like Kundalini experience or something like that, could be, but it can also be that you started to see things differently in your surroundings, that you started to see situations differently, and that you are just in the middle of it, and that this can be somehow maybe scary, and also sometimes giving you the feeling that you are out of control. And yes and no. So I think this is an invitation to just surrender and go into this process and feel all of it, but like with ease and without any effort to do so. So how can you ease more into this whole process? How can you not be overwhelmed by it? How can you find balance? So they are holding up the sword, but I guess it's not so much about what your mind is telling you, but tuning into your heart space and tuning into your intuition. So allow yourself to be guided by your intuition, and also, retreating, like turning inwards. I think in this whole process, you won't find answers on the outside. I mean, it's always good to have someone to talk about the things that are happening, the things how you are seeing them. But ultimately, to empower you, you are invited to turn inwards. And this is also telling these other tarot cards that I picked for you. It's the Moon with intuition and illusion. You also have the Ace of Cups with spirituality and fulfillment. You have the Hermit with contemplation and soul searching. And you have metamorphosis, profound change, and self-awareness. So it seems to me like you are in a process of deep transformation. I guess there's a lot of spiritual awakening things happening. So maybe you are invited to see beyond the illusion that life and reality can be sometimes, and see how you can tune into your own truth, and see how you can accept this changing, because this is very profound and it can be very overwhelming. But I have the feeling that you are doing pretty well, that you are on your path, and that you are doing really good. So when it comes to the energy of the full moon, because this was some kind, I'm actually not feeling that this whole thing is linked a lot to the full moon. It feels more like oh, this is the situation, you are experiencing this right now, take your time. But I can also feel a lot of joy, actually. It's not, if you feel like this is a very heavy process, then I invite you to see how you can see this differently. So maybe it's like the moon is shining her light onto the other perspective that you can have, so that you can change your perspective and tune into this beautiful energy. You know, there's all these colors, like these bridges, there's a lot of light, there's a lot of love, there's Mother Earth, there's lightness. You can see like this person is just floating. Also, this person here, she's sitting in the lotus flower that is just opening up, and she's receiving some downloads through her third eye. And then there's a lot of water, and so it's like this invitation: go with the flow, ease into the process, and enjoy it. I guess this is also about it, like enjoy it and enjoy your own company, and whenever you feel like ready, like you can come out of the water, you will be changed. So you have the scorpion here that is coming out of the water when the moon is already waning. And she's also having a treasure with this beautiful stone here, and like the metamorphosis card is also the scorpion is also a sign for deep transformation. So there's definitely so much transformation going on, but yeah, I'm really curious. Maybe you can write in the comments what's going on with you, how you're feeling into this, and how you are experiencing this energy right now. But I can definitely feel that you are going to be all right, that this is a very beautiful process, that you are divinely guided, that you are held, and that this is going to be a very beautiful experience in your life. So I wish you all the best. I wish you a very happy full moon, and I wish for you that you are arriving smoothly on the other side. Sending you so much love from my heart to yours, and wish you all the best. Bye-bye. Pile number 4. I'm also cleaning the space for you. Choo-choo-choo. Welcome, pile number 4. If you have picked the bloodstone, this dark green stone, then this is your reading. And in that reading, I would love to start with the archetype that is at the center of your reading. And you have the kiss. Actually, I never saw that card before, or it never came up in a reading or somewhere. And I think it's a very tender card, or at least right now it carries a very tender energy with these two hands that are holding each other in a very soft and gentle way. But then I can also see, at first I thought it was a waning moon, but now that I look at it, I can see that it feels more like a solstice, no, not like a solstice, like an eclipse. Like there is the new moon coming over the sun and bringing some darkness to it, which makes sense if we look at the fire end card that is sitting just next to it. And at first I did not really resonate with it, with the meaning of the card that is provided by the guidebook. But now that I have seen this, this darkening energy here, I think it's an invitation to look into maybe some kind of relationship that you have. So the kiss is a card that represents coming closer, because if we kiss someone, we have to get close to them. And the fire and energy is about people or situations that do not necessarily bring peace to our lives. So if we have here the card, there's a lot of ants running into the center of the card. And when you read fire ant, so for me it's like more this energy of quick movement, and then also of a stingy feeling. So I don't know if you ever experienced that when you were, for example, on a meadow or in the forest, and you stepped into ants, and they were running over your feet and over your legs, and they were like stinging you. Then this is a very uncomfortable feeling. Which is okay. I mean, if you step into their home, they are allowed to defend themselves. But in this direction, it's more maybe asking you to look into a closer relationship that you are in, and ask yourself where in this relationship you have been giving your power away. So maybe it's time to loosen that grip on the hand and let go of things, because you have outgrown that relationship. The foxglove at least is saying that it's totally okay to, if you feel, maybe it's like you are in that relationship and you feel like you lost yourself, or at least it can feel as if you have lost yourself, but maybe you have just, so maybe it's an invitation to change the perspective, that you have not lost yourself, but that you have outgrown that relationship. And maybe you feel like you do not. Oh, it's interesting, because look, the candle just goes out as I'm saying that. So maybe this is just a message that you have outgrown this, and that it's time for you to embrace more of who you became. And so this is an invitation from the full moon to find clarity in that, and then ask questions. And then you have here lifting the veil, saying question everything, anything unaligned must go. So maybe see where and what is not in alignment anymore. So this does not necessarily mean that it's the whole relationship that is coming to an ending, but maybe it's more that parts of it are not working anymore. So maybe it's time to get into trying something new, or seeing it from a different perspective, because you still have that like relationship energy here, or that Two of Cups, the Two of Cups. So there's two people who are getting closer to each other, which is also somewhat of that energy, like very gentle touch. So that person is really gently touching the hand of that person, and so it's approaching them. So maybe it's also that in that relationship it was more of very against each other, and that this is an invitation to come back to a more loving state of being together, because we also have the Seven of Wands, where the person is fighting something invisible. So we do not know if that person, like, it's fighting, but we don't know what they are fighting. So it could also be shadows, because we have the devil here. So it could also be just shadows, or just projections. And I guess it's an invitation to tune into your intuition and into the guidance coming from spirit, from within, also to find that clarity and to lift the veil. so that you do not remain stuck in where you are at the moment. Oops. So maybe it's like you see someone else is responsible for your situation that you are in and you are blaming them. But it's rather, and this is all what this full moon is about, to see where you are giving away your power and responsibility. Because if you're blaming someone and telling, oh, they are responsible for my feelings, they did that to me or did that to me, you're just giving away your power. See where you can come back to your own power, where you can empower yourself, where you can trust your intuition, and where you can come back to yourself basically. And I guess it's also to if it's like the relationship is coming to an ending, then it's also allow yourself to be guided by your intuition. And then this card can also represent self-love, because these two people actually, for me, it's also a card for self-love, because for me it's like they are just looking the same, just representing different aspects of one's personality. We have the female and the female energy and the masculine energy, and they are coming together. So maybe this is also about self-love for you. Just tune into yourself and see what is resonating with you. And then I've picked some other tarot cards. We have the Queen of Wands with generosity and tenacity. So I guess as this card is sitting together with the fire, and it's an invitation to soften. We have fire in both cards, but this card for me is more like a warm, comfortable kind of fire, while this is more burning, like very uncomfortable. So see where you can soften into that feeling of femininity, also of this receiving energy, where you can be more generous. So maybe it's also in the change of perspective, where you can become more softer towards yourself, but also towards others. Then we also have the Three of Wands with development and opportunity. So also here, what kind of opportunity is that situation giving you? Where can you evolve? Where can you learn something? Where can you find a way out of the situation? Then there is again the Star with harmony and renewal. So that's very interesting that there are these two cards together here indicating with the renewal. Maybe it's also about reinventing yourself in that relationship, or also reinventing the relationship. And the last one is the Dawn of Wands with inspiration and potential. And also water. So I guess it's some kind of invitation to tune inwards, see where you can find clarity. Also with the Devil, it's very interesting because like the shadow card, like you can use the energy of this full moon to just shine that light onto these shadows that you find within yourself, that you maybe find within your relationship, to find clarity, to find understanding, and to see what really is not aligned in your life. Because sometimes we tend to project our problems onto others. Could be in a romantic relationship, but also can be with family, can be with friends, can be with situations in general, that we think, oh, if I change that, then I will be happy. If I'm going to break up with my partner and I find a new partner, then I will be happy. But most likely this is not going to happen. If you break up with your partner and you do not change anything within your own system, then probably you will have the same issues with your new partner. So better work on your issues first and then see whether your partner, whether your relationship is aligned or not. So I'm not giving you advice on breaking up or not doing it. I'm just inviting you to tune into your intuition, tune into yourself, and see what's happening for you. And let me just see. I wanted to look into that clarity card. I have the feeling that I can look into this to find something more. Yeah, it's also saying vision, insight, and truth. So find out so there is also this, like, from the outside, might be a lot of input on things, and people are telling you what to do, or giving you advice. And that is exactly what I do not want to do. I'm just giving you some perspectives onto things. And this is also with the bloodstone. The bloodstone is a stone that, that invites you to tune into your own strength. So I guess this is basically it with the full moon. Tune into your inner world, tune into your heart, into your heart's desires, and step back a little bit. Step back and see where you have been influenced by others, maybe from the outside, someone looking at your relationship and telling you what to do, or maybe also from within. And check out what this means for you, where harmony can be found, where renewal can be found, where you can develop more, where you can grow in this, and also what are the things that are not aligned with you anymore. And then this full moon, the energy of the full moon is definitely helping you with this and invites you to release all these things that are no longer meant to be for you. And if you struggle with that, you can always ask for guidance. You can always ask Spirit for, please help me to understand what is going on here. Please guide me onto a path that is for my greater good. Please help me to see what I do not see. Please help me to see things differently. Yeah, we can always ask for guidance, and then we will receive it. So, dear pile number 4, I'm interested if that resonates with you. Maybe you want to leave a comment, then you can just do so. And I wish you all the best. I know that you will find the clarity within. I invite you also to just breathe and connect to your breath. And I wish you a very happy full moon, and I'm sending you so much love and so much light. Bye-bye.